Welcome everyone back to episode 3 of Katawa Shoujo. In the last episode, we were talking with Misha and Shizune about school clubs, and we were going to go to the student council room to play a game of Risk with them. So let's just continue, shall we? After school, Shizune and Misha quickly find me by the first floor lobby and latch onto me, covering each flank in case I might try to escape. I feel very offended, but I'd been considering it. Nevertheless, I'm a bit disturbed that enough people have made a break for it in the past that they are on their guard. What's with this escort though? This doesn't seem to make me feel very comfortable. In fact, it makes me feel like a dangerous prisoner being transported to a cell. Wahaha! What's wrong, Hichan? That's right! We're just gonna play a game of Risk, remember? I don't know. Misha, this all seems a little sinister to me. I start thinking that when I sit down to play the game, they'll tie me down and torture me until I agree to join the student council. Well, that's highly unlikely, but still, for some reason, it just feels like it would be so plausible. Getting to the student council room is as simple as turning two corners from where we started. What? That's it? This makes you guys being on top of me seem a little silly. That's not true, Hichan! Shichan says that when their life is threatened, people have shown the capability to pull off superhuman bursts of speed. What? Life is threatened? Her expression unchanging, Misha signs something amusedly to Shizune, who makes a baffling face and puts her hands behind her back, looking pleased with herself. Misha feigns deafness and hums cheerily. Stop that! Stop that. I know you heard me. You have no excuse, unlike Shizune. Shizune opens the door to the student council room. It is very plain, sparingly sparsely decorated room, although it is quite large, maybe even a little larger than a classroom. There's a big table in the corner surrounded by chairs, and a smaller desk prominently placed in the back that I assume is Shizune's. There's a few larger desks and chairs stacked to one side, with, as well, extras perhaps? Aside from the tables and chairs, the room doesn't have much else to offer. Just a couple of filing cabinets and bookshelves stacked with old school records and documents. Not much else. In fact, nothing else. This is a pretty big room. They could have at least put a potted plant in here or something. But the most noticeable thing this room doesn't have is other people. Are we early? No! What do you mean, no? Does that mean no one else is coming today? It is just them two, isn't it? What? Yeah, that's right! Before I manage to ask why that's the case, Shizune claps her hands together very energetically. Hichan, let's play Risk! Come on, you promised, didn't you? You have to! Okay. Do you know the rules? We can explain them to you while we set everything up. While Misha is talking, Shizune takes out what looks like a board game from behind one of the filing cabinets and throws it on the table. Actually, this looks kind of interesting. After Misha spends a long time, a little too long for her Liking running through the basics, which is somewhat vague and confusing tutorial, Shizune cuts in and declares the game has started with a decisive motion, slicing her arm through the air. Shizune's aggressiveness is rubbing off onto me. I start feeling more competitive than I intended when I agreed to this. Halfway into the game, when I try to ponder how to defend against Shizune's assault from two fronts, she breaks my concentration by drumming her fingers on the table to get my attention. He-chan! She-chan wants you to know that you're taking too long to make a move! She-chan also says that she will let you keep Australia if you join the student council! I thought this was a game with no strings attached. Just the fact that she would dangle that over my head as an offering means she knows I care about the outcome of this game. Anyway, no. Shizune admires your fighting spirit and would be a benevolent dictator who will spare your people if you agree to join the student council. You're so competitive, Shizune. She seems to take this as compliment. I would expect the student council president to be a little more, magnanimous. Sorry. Thank you, Misha. She doesn't know the word. She doesn't know what word that means or how it is signed. So she pulls out a piece of paper and writes it for Shizune, who in return signs it back to Misha. Misha presses her index fingers against her temples as if trying to physically imprint the word into her memory. Suddenly, Shizune burst into a flurry of gestures. Misha looks daunted by the pace of her heated signing. Wait! Please slow down, Shi-chan. He-chan! Shizune says that you're going to lose. Tell her I will crush her world empire with my rebellion. Okay. Those eyes of her shine with childlike mischief. I forgot about the cat face. Oh. She says you have no choice if you keep playing like this. No, you won't. Okay, so we had a bit of recording difficulty. Which I already recorded this, so I'm re-recording it because of a problem I had. So I chose this one the first time, and we're gonna continue with it. So it's a trap. It's smarter to play defensively here. It's like that she's trying to psych me out. Looking at the board again, I have a pretty good defense set up, and I'm not going to wreck it doing something reckless. A few turns later, I lose the game anyway. Shizune adjusts her glasses victoriously and allows her to tentatively pump a fist into the air in celebration. Whoop, whoop. Wahaha! He-chan, you lost when you allowed me to take North America! I mean, Shizune, not me. Getting control of North America is ambitious because it provides a 5-army bonus. But you can attack it from 3 fronts, so you must defend them all. I thought you'd have more guts. How disappointing. Ambition, He-chan. You need to play with more. Your plays need to be more daring. Ambition. This is like rude of her to just kind of be attacking us, so I don't know. It's not very good. I don't like it anyway. I was really excited when you took South America, but then you switched to playing defensively just because you gained small advantage. That's no good, He-chan. You didn't take enough risks. And when you did, you didn't follow through. That is terrible, Hichan. Damn. What is it to her if I played too carefully? There's no need to rub it in my face. I wonder if you'd even be good for the student council. What's this reverse psychology? Man, I guess I don't have to worry. I guess I don't have to worry about joining or not in that case. Giving up just like that? I expected more of you! Seriously, is Shizune trying to taunt me into joining the council? Besides, I don't even want to join. It's only my second day. I can't make that kind of commitment. I haven't even taken a look at the other clubs yet. And these two, they're a little weird. Fine. I'll consider joining the council, but I want to take a look at the other clubs before I decide. Really, Hichan? You're not just saying that to make us feel better? Yeah. I'm just not sure that I want to. Aww. Okay, Hichan, but we're not going to give up so easily. You said maybe. There's still a chance you'll come around. Come on, we can really have fun. We can play more Risk, and maybe one day you could beat me. Unless we graduate before that. Wow, that is okay. That doesn't make me feel any less reluctant about joining you now. Surely you're not that horrible at board games. Maybe you can play a game that you know then to give you a handicap. I might have said that just to make you feel better after all. Oh, that's Koti-chan. Yeah, and so is what Shizune is doing. She's doing like the exact same to us what she is doing. I take a glance at the clock. Oops. I take a glance at the clock on the wall and realize I've spent far longer playing Risk than I had expected. Sorry, I have to go. I wanted to get to the library. It's not closed yet, is it? Shichan scratches her head and gestures to Misha. How hard can it be determined whether the library is open? There's a clock right there on the wall. It should be, unless the librarian is absent. I think you're right, Shichan. We think the library is open. It is on the second floor. You can't miss it. Do you want us to show you where it is? No thanks. It's okay. See you tomorrow. Bye bye! One flight of stairs up, and I run into problems. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain, like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classroom marked with signs stated which class they belonged to, but then there's a plethora of others unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them? Or is it just somewhere down the hallway? I better in the data and choose my directions at random. After I turn around corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it is not closed. It's not opened either though, just barely ajar, so that I can see it's open and nothing else. It would make sense for the library door to be intentively open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside. And I could ask for directions, no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at moment's notice. The feeling of being an outsider to the school can't be shaken from my mind. So much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks, as if groaning from deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I'd anticipated. Leaning over and poking my head even farther inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, the meek hello on my lips is quickly snatched away. This is this is not as I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking in the sight of the solitary figure taking center stage in the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway staring at the beautiful girl. Evidently, having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Hello there, may I help you? Staring directly in front of her, the movement of her lips seemed to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's a soft, measured voice that reminds me she's a being separated from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Hi. Sorry for intruding. I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's a carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Uh, Thanks. I slowly stepped towards another seat opposite the girl, resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. Sorry, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling. That, and the slight cloudiness in her eyes, means she must be at least partially blind, like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have a detachable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air is relaxed. Confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council officer. I take it you're a new student to Yamaku. Hi. I just transferred yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns does not match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting, on which I hasten to match, before realizing the futility of the action. Like she bowed. That's funny. She bowed, but then he'd do it as well, and because she's blind, right? She probably cannot see. I'm Lily Satao. Pleased to meet you. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Hisao. Hisao Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I cannot keep staring. I cannot keep step with her formalities and the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid along a shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand awfully lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she has followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty fingers to measure the right amount of water in the cup. The one thing to see, it's one thing to see the different disabilities of the students in my class have, but sorry, hit my microphone. But it's quite another to see how everyone else seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me, and Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems. I never thought of. So tired. Sorry. When I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offering, preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. What room were you looking for? It's not often that classrooms are visited after school. The library, the school library. Shizune and me, some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finishes pouring water into the teacup. As she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicates it is being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 33, no? Hi, that's right. In the silent room with Muto. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I'd imagine you'd come to like him. Most do. As she sets down the tea, I gently take in and have a sip. I'm more of a Cory person, but this seems like a rather bad moment for bringing it up. Nonetheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think I think I'd it'd be hard to choke down. Uh, Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. Sato. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please. There's no need to be too formal. She says it in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try to ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So which class are you from? I'd imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It is taught by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Soka. Ah, I mean, say, sorry. I feel like stopping myself for that first pause. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem in the least bit put off by it. My, there is no need to change your speech on my account. Sure. Sorry. I guess I'm really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be big change, so I cannot fault you for it. While the same cannot be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I segue into another. Now my inner thoughts are just like, my inner thoughts sounding like Diddy. Do you come here? Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place. Thinking on it, this might be her version of the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. Hmm. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duties as as class representative doesn't leave me time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune is blunt and fiercely driven, Diddy seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be more. She might be useful. Less less a bi for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? Hmm. The popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field near the school during lunch times, the baseball club, and the book club in a room near the library. There are also numerous smaller ones, though, such as the arts and music clubs. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my beat, rushing into club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if the school shares the same rules as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? Hmm, it isn't, though it is encouraged. Ah, good. That's a relief. Ah, I've really let my guard down around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems so slightly amused. That fact slightly seems to amuse her. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally started drinking it, as Lily does the same. As I look over to the window, as I look to the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming into the room has a distinctly orange tint. Even here, time does not stand still. Huh? The time's gone quickly. Ah, sorry? Oh, right, of course. She's blind, of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun is starting to set. It seems to come as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of time. Sorry. Sorry, Hasao. I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly moved to allay her concern. Ah, no, it is okay. The library is still open, isn't it? She pauses and takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance, but Lily seems likely to know in any case. True, it is open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? Oh, I couldn't possibly ask for more help. I should be able to find it all right. Well, unless my navigational skills fail me, which they seem to have a habit of doing. It's all right. I was going to talk to the librarian there in any case. I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great, thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight, retractable cane that had been slipped into the handle of her bag on the floor. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. His must be for support, whereas Diddy's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway on the way to the library. Side by side, my pace carefully slows to match hers. We slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door of the warm-looking room, apparently situated in the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. Okay, I think I'm going to stop here for today. I want to thank you all for listening in. I know this was a little bit shorter than the other ones, but with the previous recording issue I had, I kind of really just want to make sure that before I read too much, this one continues, or like this one is recorded and there's not any further issues. So, sorry, I promise the next one will be as long as the previous ones. So, thank you again for listening, and it was I really enjoyed this episode. I really like the music a lot. I enjoy reading. The music is really like relaxing at times. They did a great job with the studio did a great job putting the visual novel together. So I hope to see you guys in the next part. Thank you. Bye bye.